I'm John Plunkett at Adweek Europe, and I'm very glad to say I've been joined by Tim Armstrong, who is Chief Exec and Chairman of AOL. Tim.
Thanks for having us, John.
Thanks very much. You said a couple of years ago that AOL was on the comeback trail. Has it happened?
Yeah, I think the company's made a lot of progress. I think, having gone 10 years ago from a merger that didn't work with Time Warner to where the company sits today, I think we sit at the forefront of where content, video, and advertising is going for the internet and for mobile. So we're happy with our progress so far. We have a lot more work to do, and there's 6,000 AOLers who are working really hard every day to continue to improve the company.
How far does the shadow of that Time Warner merger stretch? Are you still under it?
No, I think basically probably there's some public perception side of it in the media, technology, and banking industry, but on the consumer side, consumers don't really care about that, and advertisers care about results. So I think in that way we're free to kind of expand the company and continue to invest in growth areas, which we're actively doing right now.
And you reported your first annual rise in revenues this year for 8 years.
Yeah, first time in 8 years, yeah.
I mean, that was the good news. Was the less good news the fact that the bulk of that revenue still comes from dial-up internet connections, which isn't a growth business?
Yeah, actually the bulk of the revenue comes from advertising. The bulk of the profits still come from dial-up. So I think we're in a process right now of actually improving the revenue picture overall to a growth company, but really working on the profitability of the content and advertising segment overall. And we've put a lot of investment into that area, and I think over time you're seeing the industry kind of shift to where we started investing in 3 years ago. So I think we'll have a good track record over the next few years of continuing to grow AOL.
And you talked about content there, and a big part of that is the Huffington Post,
yes,
which you spent $300 million on or so a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Has that met expectations? How's it working out?
Yeah, I think it's beat expectations. The Huffington Post is turned into a global brand. I think it's a powerhouse. I think Ariana Huffington and now Jimmy Mayman, who came through Go Viral, who's out of the UK and is moving to New York, have done a tremendous job basically taking the thesis behind the Huffington Post investment was people are going to care about brands and collect around big brands, which the Huffington Post is. We're going to be able to expand internationally, which we've done, and we have more expansion coming up there. And then we're really going to get heavily into things like video and expansion of the sections. And I think we launched HuffPost Live, which is, I think, from Mashable, one innovative media product of the year last year. So I think you're seeing us actually take the thesis of the investment, and we've been expanding it over time. So Huffington Post is becoming one of the most important brands on the planet, I think, for media, and that was what we hoped it would be.
And let's look ahead. Give us a trend we should look out for in the future, next 12 months, or maybe further ahead. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I think there's a content trend coming back. I think you're seeing device manufacturers, networks, and the companies in Silicon Valley want to differentiate themselves with content. So I think that's one mega trend. I think the second one is live. I think basically consumers want live information as close to live or as instant as possible, and I think that's going to be a mega trend on the consumer side with information for mobile and the internet. I think it's going to be a mega trend with advertisers, and that's an area I'm really excited about, the future of live programming in general, and really excited about live advertising.
And live advertising in the sense that you can speak to a representative of whoever
right,
on demand, whether
right,
it's a pair of jeans or a
and maybe
or whatever.
The third mega trend is brands themselves. I think that brands are going to become more and more and more important in the future, and I think the first generation of the internet was people didn't really understand the essence of what a brand does inside of the internet ecosystem, but my guess is the next 10 to 20 years you're going to see some absolutely global brands emerge, and it's going to be powerful.
Final question, what do you make of Google Glasses?
I think it's a really cool innovation. I just was with some of the Google folks this week, and some of the people who work at the X group at Google, and I think they're really excited about it. I think that it's a very personal experience, and it's going to allow you to get a lot more content. So the closer eyeballs get to media, the more we like it, and I think that's probably the closest you can get in the world right now. So I'm excited about it and excited about the innovations in numerous places, but I think Google's doing a good job.
Okay, Tim Armstrong, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.